Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to another what we kind of call like a dev update type thing. So we did a lot of these like in the last couple months when Riot was doing like a lot of dev updates about like a lot of the system changes, item changes, and everything. But one that is quite near and dear to my heart is the behavior systems. Like, how is the actual behavior systems to kind of crack down on inting, AFKing, rage quitting, all that stuff that we've all had to deal with a lot, I think, in Season 10. What are they doing specifically about that? So that's what I think this video is going to be about. And obviously in the comment section below, you can give your feedback on everything as well. And yeah, hopefully we get to learn about how they're doing and what they're looking to do for the upcoming season. Well, let's begin. Welcome to the November issue of Behavior of Systems. This will be our last post of 2020 as we work to finish out the year strong. We'll touch briefly on where we are now and then look to the future. So, lever and intentional feeding results. Last month, we called out our ongoing experiments for detection and punishments. As the latest round of iterations wraps up, we've had some good time to review our tests and simulation results, and we're confident that we're hitting the right notes. Specifically, our lever detection and penalties, alongside our second iteration of international feeding detection, are showing surges in detection accuracy. Well, that's kind of a good thing. As our detection accuracy increases, so does the application of the modified penalties we established back in August. We've seen results that indicate that with these improvements in place, there's been a responsive 30% decrease to recurring disruptive behavior. So already, again, basically they've been doing this since August, only a few months, and they've seen a 30% reduction in behavior of like repeat offenses, I guess. That's not bad. Like, that's something. So, you know, usually I think what this would be kind of going to is that we've all had that inter, like a genuine inter. I actually had one earlier today. He played Kassadin, he bought Moby Boots and Gargoyle Stoneplate. I just decided to run into the enemy a lot, like a genuine inter. I think what Riot's trying to do is basically, in League's history, it will take way too long for that inter to get punished. And, well, firstly, will they get punished? But also it will take too long. So by the time, if that inter ever did get punished, they might have played 10 games of League, maybe even more, inting. Riot's trying to basically cut that down and make it so that, you know, the game can detect an inter and instantly take punishment. And instantly be like, at least, for the very least, you can't play for the rest of the day or something like that. Because sometimes that's all it needs. A lot of the time, and yeah, inters are kind of bad players, but all it takes, and what mainly an inter is, it's a tilted player that has lost it, right? It's a tilted player that's just gone away too badly tilted, and there may be external things happening in their life as well that's also affecting it. So a lot of the time, the fix would be just not allowing that player to continue playing ranked for that day. Just let them cool off. You can still, well, maybe even play normals, I don't know, because then they might be inting in normals, but at least people's rank won't be on the line. But that's good. On the flip side, in tests where we increased our thresholds to detection, making it harder for levers to be flagged, and subsequently decreases our punishment application as a result, we saw predictable resurgence of negative behavior. So what they're also saying, they also did tests where they kind of got rid of the tighter thresholds and they just saw what would happen. Like, okay, we're getting all these systems to detect it and punish it quickly. What happens if we just let it not do its thing? And they already saw in their tests, inting and AFKing happens more. So they are seeing a correlation, obviously, already in punishing them does fix the problem, which a lot of people doesn't think it does, but clearly Riot is saying it does. Obviously, like, to me, that's kind of logic. But anyway, finishing out the year, we'll continue training our lever and intentional feeding models to further the accuracy and all that stuff. So overall, I think that's a really good start for a couple months, getting it down 30% when they're actually doing the actual tests and everything. That's not bad. Obviously, none of us like inters or intentional feeders. They're probably always going to be a thing. But because you could be in the game where that player just goes snap and starts inting. You can't predict someone inting. But what they need to do is if that player does do that snap and they just start inting, they get punished and they can't play more. That's the answer. Next up is, where are we now? So basically, our development team is hard at work wrapping up the early surrender and LP consolidation projects, whatever that is, the word. Basically, again, if you are in a team... Oh, they're just going to tell us here. So, early surrender will start as follows. After 10 minutes of play, when a player is identified as AFK for an extended period of time, there will be a prompt for the team to surrender if they choose. As with remake logic, it will be required that the vote surrender is ununanimous. Oh. Okay, so... if one person's AFK, it doesn't have to be the 4 remaining people to be AFK to say yes. Maybe only 3 will need. Anyway, AFK surrenders will still adhere to LP rules. LP consolation. There we go, rules. Which are... So this is the whole thing, by the way, that players have been calling for years of, I'm doing fine, my teammate AFK'd, why do I lose LP? This is what this is. Right. LP will be provided to those that are subject to AFK behaviours in their Summoner's Rift rank games. LP consolation will take into account multiple variables throughout the game to determine an LP value to provide players affected by an AFK on their team in the game. It will be not provided to the AFK person or any pre-mades of that person. So, for example, you're a duo queue, we're losing this game anyway, I'm close to promo, you go AFK and I won't lose LP for this game, doesn't work. If you're a duo or pre-made, you'll lose LP even if your duo DCs. That's smart. And then also, we'll be watching LP very closely to avoid any negative LP trends influenced by Constellation LP alongside other LP changes to the rank plan for preseason. Again, reminding people, they're getting rid of promotion series within each tier. So you go from Diamond 4 to Diamond 3, no promotion series. That is going to affect ranked because it's going to speed up the climb because a lot of the time promotion series slow people down a lot. So that is worth knowing. But this is good. Again, maybe, I don't know if they're ever going to make like, you have an AFK teammate, you literally don't lose any LP. They might make it that you lose 5 LP where you normally would have lost 20. Like, it's going to be good, obviously. But that's something, obviously. Next up, wrapping up 2020 and into 2021. So what are they looking to do? So better visibility to those affected into punishments and actions taken against players that are constantly ruining games. So Riot want you to know that they're doing something about it. Because a lot of people in the community feel like, dude, nothing's done. I report players, nothing gets done. Riot want to show you that things are getting done. So you know that little box that sometimes pop up when you log in? That might come up more or whatever. Like, it's just to kind of give you confidence that it is doing something. Next up is a revisit the tiered penalty system with the intent of opening up broader ways of addressing a wide range of disruptive behaviors. I think this is smart because right now, I think the way that they do it is a 1-day ban, a 3-day ban, a 7-day ban, a 14-day ban, and then a perma ban or chat restrictions. I think they should 100%, and I don't think it exists right now, 100% a ranked ban. So still let the player play, but make it so you have to play X amount of normal games to play ranked again or something. I still literally think a big fix to the League of Legends problem would be the prison queue or the toxic queue. But I think Riot's quite against that idea for some reason. But if you're toxic, surely you're okay with other toxic people because you're toxic. So put all the toxic people together. Ta-da! Like, I don't know why that would be a bad thing, because then for the rest of us who are, like, normal, we'd be in a pretty happy place. But I think Riot are somewhat against it. But I will say, you never know, because I remember having a conversation with a Rioter talking about both the promo thing and the LP thing of, like, if I've got a teammate that's AFK, why do I lose LP? And a Rioter always was saying, it just is the way that it is. We can't do anything about it. Well, obviously, they changed their mind. They're doing something about it. Next up, exploration into additional ranked solutions, including queue-specific punishments depending on behavior. Well, that's what I was literally just talking about. Don't let someone continue playing ranked. That's good. Like, it just slows people down. It's an actual punishment. And by the way, I wouldn't just do a timed punishment, because a lot of these toxic players who int or AFK, because they int and AFK, they probably have multiple accounts. So give them a week ban on one account in ranked, they'll just play on a different account for a week. That's why I think make them play a certain amount of games and then you unlock ranked again. Play 10 normal games until you unlocked ranked. Play 50 normal games until you unlock ranked again. Maybe that's better, because then, you know, some people say, oh, that will make normals toxic. Obviously, there's going to be always an answer or a good or a bad to all of these things. But maybe something like that. Verbal abuse analysis and what it looks like to automate in-game solutions that prevent further harm once a source has been identified. So yeah, they're working on it, which I've said it for ages. Maybe it's a bit too late. That League, I would say, well, it's always been a relatively toxic game, but maybe about 4 years ago, maybe they should have started working on this. Obviously, it's prompted. We all kind of said, you know, the Voy Boy stare video kind of prompted this, but a lot of us have been saying this for years, and Riot just ignored it completely. But then I think the problem became too big. That's what I think. Like, Voy Boy kind of was a voice, and then it just gained so much snowball momentum of the whole community going, yes, something needs to be done. Then finally Riot couldn't ignore it. Because trust me, it felt like they wanted to ignore it, because otherwise they should have been working on this for many years ago. But at least they are. Anyway, so in addition to the continued work on negative behavior, we'll be starting to dive into better recognizing and acknowledging positive behavior. This is also a counterpoint that some people have made. Everything's talking about punishing toxicity. What about just rewarding positive and good players? Maybe then some toxic people will look about what the good people are getting, and they may want to change their ways. Like, this is, to me, okay, I'm going to say something that is going to be controversial. If you're a honoured player and you're recognised to be really nice in the community, you're never toxic, you're never being reported, why not give that person bonus LP? As like, imagine that. Like, I know a lot of people go, oh God, that's a bit crazy. It is, but surely then that will instantly fix the game because everybody would want better LP. So that toxic person would be like, oh God, I'm not going to say that really toxic thing now because that ruins my chance of getting bonus LP down the line. That would do something, I think. We recognise systems like Honor have started to show their wear and tear. I mean, Honor never did anything, let's be honest. And we'd like to dig into what the next iteration looks like. That's good. There are no promises yet since we won't start splitting time with game-ruining behaviour work until that's basically done. But yeah, so they might be looking to make Honor something better, which I am completely for. And then lastly, in order to pave the way for future behavioural updates in the League client and game itself, we'll be spending more time rebuilding some of the technical frameworks for our services. As we roll out new behaviour features, and Tess will also be talking about some of the technical goals for the future and how they can basically do them. So that's it. That is the behavior update. Honestly, I'm pretty happy about they just continuing the conversation. It's always nice just to hear more, like, they are working on it. This is what we're doing. And everything seems to be relatively positive. Like, to me, this is quite a big deal. Hey, when we ramped up detection and penalties, we saw a 30% decrease in recurring behavior. Hey, when we did another test that we stopped doing that, it started going back up. It's clearly their systems that they are now working on are clearly starting to work. So that's a good sign. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you still get toxicity problems? And obviously a lot of us now turn shut off in League of Legends. But as we've mentioned, this isn't even about that type of toxicity. This is about levers and inting feeders. And I'm not afraid to say it. Season 10 has been my worst season of League of Legends. In terms of enjoyment and partially in terms of rank. And I've experienced the most inters and feeders in my whole League of Legends career, if you want to call it that. It's insane. I would say I at least every single play session have one literal inter or feeder, sometimes multiple. And there's just very little you can do about it. You lose all momentum and wanting to play when you just lose 2 or 3 games every couple days due to no fault of your own. So it is nice that Riot is looking to do something about it. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.